really do. Needs have you think of someone as being needy, and it's usually a negative thing. So this is a little bit of a mind shift to start thinking this way. But it's really the other way around. Once we acknowledge our needs, and we are more needy, we are satiating our needs in conscious, mindful ways. When we're in the driver's seat of it, then that gives us more power and actually makes us less needy, less helpless, right? And Deepak goes on to say here, let's move it on to the next slide here. He says that without detachment, we're prisoners of helplessness, hopelessness, mundane needs, trivial concerns, quiet desperation and seriousness. The distinctive features is everyday mediocre existence and poverty consciousness. Now, I'm sure that a lot of you are noticing how entangled all the laws are, but I think this is especially true of the law of intention and desire and the law of detachment. So the law that we're doing tonight and the law we did last night. And you're probably thinking, well, how can I be clear with my vision and hold on to it and be detached at the same time? So these two laws are really intertwined, but they also seem to be at odds with each other, right? But, of course, Deepak has addressed this in the book. And what he says is the law of detachment does not interfere with the law of intention and desire, with goal setting. You still have the intention of going in a certain direction. You still have a goal, right? However, between point A and point B, there are infinite possibilities. With uncertainty factored in, you might change direction in any moment if you find a higher ideal or if you find something more exciting. You are also less likely to force solutions on problems because you're open to possibility, right? Which enables you to stay alert to opportunities. And that's really the exciting part of all of this. It's the opportunity, right? Because when you put your attention on the uncertainty and you witness the uncertainty while you expectantly wait for the solution to emerge out of the chaos and the confusion, then what emerges is something very fabulous and exciting. And this state of alertness, your preparedness in the present, he goes on to tell us, in the field of uncertainty, meets with your goal and your intention and allows you to seize the opportunity. What's the opportunity? It's contained within every problem that you have in your life. Every single problem that you have in your life is the seed of an opportunity for some greater benefit. Pretty powerful. And this all sounds great, but some of you might be thinking, well, this all sounds very, intangible and wonderful, but how do I really use that in my business? How do I use that in my life? What's it got to do with me anyway, right? Well, let's get a tangible example and put it on the table here. Let's think of the law of detachment. Imagine, you've got your business, and a part of business is, whether it's picking up the phone and talking to someone that you've never spoken to before, or picking up the phone and calling someone that maybe you've just met and you want to continue to build that relationship. Detachment is picking up the phone and being open to all the possibility. It's not... If you are in that place of fear, before you pick up the phone, and you're going to be thinking, oh, they're just going to hang up on me. They're going to think I'm bothering them. The itty-bitty shitty committee is doing the whole spiel in your head. And a lot of times it may very well talk you out of even picking up the phone. Now, if you embrace uncertainty, and if you decide, you know what, my goal is to talk to this person, I'm just going to pick up the phone and call them and say hello and see what happens. Well, yes, they might pick up the phone. They might slam the phone down and say, why did you call me? But they might also, you might engage in a wonderful conversation. You might find out that your kids are the same age, and that they're interested in the school that you're going to, and they don't know about this great play place. This is what happened to me tonight. I made a phone call to someone that I just met, and I was just checking in and wanted to make sure that they got some items that had emailed to them. But I'd only met them once before, so there is fear involved with picking up the phone. But if you're open to this, if you're open to the detachment, there's so much more possibility there. I mean, how exciting to suddenly be surrounded by opportunities instead of problems, right? I watched a TV show once on Feng Shui, and I don't know if you know what that is, and I'm not an expert in it, but it's basically, placing your items in your home, or I think in your life in general, in a certain way so the energy is really flowing and it's a positive thing. There's a whole kind of science behind it. But the premise of the show that I was watching was that a Feng Shui expert would come to a home, and they would Feng Shui the home, right? And we would get to watch the process. And so in this episode, when the Feng Shui expert entered a really cluttered office, there were papers everywhere, there was some exercise equipment with clothes on it, and a whole stack of cardboard boxes in the corner, she said something that really made an impression on me. It stuck in my mind. She looked at that room, and she said, "This room is full of opportunities. This room is full of opportunities." You see, it's all in the perspective. What gems, what opportunities, what do you have in your life right now? And I'm willing to place a bet here, right? I'm not going to say how much or anything, but we'll just, say I'm placing a bet. And I'm guessing that the less you think you have, right, the less opportunities that you think you have, the more are there, if that makes sense, right? Now, of course, Deepak's got 3 actions for us, right? He wants us to bring this law of detachment into our lives and to begin to shift our perspective, and he wants to make it he wants to help us to do that. So the action step number 1, I will allow myself and those around me the freedom to be as they are. I will not rigidly impose my ideas of how things should be. I will not force solutions on problems, thereby creating new problems. Okay, it's a little mantra for you to think about in the morning. The second one, today I will factor in uncertainty as an essential ingredient of my experience. Beautiful. And the third one, I will embrace uncertainty and possibility and remain open to the infinity of choices. Some great stuff. Now, I said at the beginning that I was really embracing this law tonight, right? And the reason I said that is because time got away with me, and I did not have the meditation or the visualization prepared for tonight. But because I am already so organized, and that was a part of it, remember, it is about having everything in place and then being open to the possibility of being detached. So, I have everything set up for the webinar. I've got everything that I need. I'm used to doing the slides and doing all of that stuff. So that really was in my favor, and it allowed me to just kind of be open and excited about, what could I do? And so I picked up a book which, I might not have picked up otherwise, so that there's a wonderful opportunity here that wouldn't have been here if I would have been planning a little bit more ahead today. So that I embraced the uncertainty, and I think we've got some good seeds that are going to come out of it. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to read from Louise Hay, since we were talking about her again tonight. I'm going to read one of her affirmations, which I think a lot of you liked from the other day, on prosperity, because we do seem to have been talking about, this law is factored in with abundance and prosperity. So I'm going to start out with that. And then there's another book. It's a wonderful book called Feel the Fear, and Do It Anyway, and it's by Susan Jeffers. And she has a visualization, a guided one, which is right in her book, and I'm going to read that to you guys too, and I think that's perfect, because fear, of course, is one of the factors that stops us embracing uncertainty. So